Are we wise? Do we have wisdom or access to wisdom? How do we learn things? How do we access information? These are all really important questions in our spiritual development. And I don't have the answer to any of them. So we're just going to talk about that today. And one specific kind of wisdom, and that is ancestor wisdom. Hi, I'm David, and this is Stories from the Cauldron. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was comparing scrolling on my phone, which has a lot of information, and tarot, which has a lot of information. I was kind of getting very amused about messages we get, things we learn. I mean, I'm doing this on, you may be watching this on your phone. Does that mean it's not wisdom? Just because I'm not, here in person with the cards. So I was trying to figure it out, like, that divine wisdom, that ancestor wisdom, that wisdom from a culture. Like, how do we access that? And how does it shape us as magical thinking people? And let me stop for a second and talk about just the idea of ancestor. For a lot of people, that's really difficult because they may be cut off from their families or not super tight with their family, or they might only know their family one generation back. They might not even know their great-grandparents, let alone their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. And now all the 23andMe stuff, it gets very confusing, doesn't it? But one thing about magical thinking, though, is that you sort of get to pick your ancestry, right? I mean, I am part Abenaki, I am part French, I am part Irish, and these things are things I can, look back and feel the myths of those cultures and see how that resonates with me. So as a queer person, my ancestry might be every queer person who's ever existed in the world, right? That's my ancestry. I'm also a writer. So is Shakespeare my ancestor? Right? I mean, every writer that's written an interesting thought, or a playwright specifically, probably coming from me, are these my ancestors? And I say yes. You get to focus on any of those groups to choose, because the power is in you. Choose your ancestry, not just a bunch of genes or your mom's. So to speak about ancestor wisdom, in this episode, I'm going to show you a story about listening to the wisdom of the grandmother and what happens when we don't, and how we can access it when we didn't. And then we're going to go to Shauna's house, to her ancestor altar, and she's going to give us a little Intro 101 ancestor listening worship something or other. I don't actually know because we haven't done it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. We always love working with Shauna. And then we're going to open it up to maybe just listening, which is so important as magical people, right? Just to be still and listen. And thank you for listening to me. This video is from a project I did a while ago called Tales of the Tribe. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you at Shauna's afterwards. Okay, let's do it.
Grandmother Wisdom was dying. So she went to the leader of her people and said, "I'm dying. Take my wisdom." Well, the leader was young and arrogant and kind of a know-it-all and said, "I don't need your help. I don't need some old lady telling me stuff. I'm chief. Huh. Go away." So she left. Well, crops fell. Villagers turned on neighbors, turned on family. Disease spread. Simple wounds wouldn't heal. So Grandmother Wisdom returned. And she said, let me help you fix this. Take my wisdom, please." He said, "No, I can fix this alone. I don't need your help. Leave." So she left. And as you can imagine, things got worse. Yeah, the soil went bad. Animals died. Starvation visited their people. He buried a child because of it. And he saw his own shame riddled in that face. Humiliated and defeated, he ran to Grandmother Wisdom to beg for forgiveness. But she was dead. He couldn't believe his own failure. He cried and he wailed. He said, God, why did I act like such a foolish child? And then he remembered being a child. He remembered being a child and sitting around the fire and hearing stories. Yes, stories. One in particular was about Coyote. Right, Coyote had died, and Mole, his wife, was frantic in grief. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't drink, she wouldn't sleep. She just walked and walked and walked and walked and walked out into the desert where she finally collapsed. And when she did, she was visited by Great Spirit. And he told her to take the body of Coyote to Fox and have Fox sleep, and Coyote would be made well. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save my people. That's what I'm gonna do. So he didn't take any water, any food. He didn't sleep. He just walked out into the desert. He walked and he walked and he walked for 3 days until he collapsed. And he said, Grandmother Wisdom, if you can hear me, I'm sorry. And she appeared. And he said, please help me. Give me your wisdom. Please do anything. I'll do anything. And she smiled and said, I'm sorry. When you would not take my wisdom, I gave it all away. I gave some to the birds and some to the bees, some to the flowers and a lot to the trees. I sowed it in stars and the moon and, of course, the sun. I gave it to rock and wave and owl and turtle, all the creatures, but it wasn't quite done. The last of the last, the truth of the truth, I hid in a nook, in the best hiding place ever, in which you will probably never look. And she was gone. The chief fell to the ground and wept at his failure. And he noticed how his tears went into the soil, like water, and how the water would go into the root, into the plant, and how things would feed off the plant, and worm to flower, and he saw the medicine of plants and the medicine of animals. And he went from a know-it-all to a learn-it-all. Well, he became the most loved chief the tribe ever had. Integrity, a thirst for knowledge, and kindness. But they say he was always sad of eye, right? So someone's always bugging him, right? Well, on his own deathbed, he thanked all the creatures and beings that had given him wisdom that he had shared with his people. And he thought, he never got that last of the last, the truth of the truths. Maybe I just wasn't ready. He took his last sigh, and he looked down, and they say his spirit smiled as it left. Because the very best hiding spot, that nook, is inside all of us, the truth of the truths. If you'll just look. Here we are at our friend Shauna's place with Shauna's altar and her beautiful space with her lovely cats and dogs around us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Shauna's with us. Makes us happy. So we're going to do a little sort of Ancestor 101 conversation. There are many, many ways to do this. This is one simple way to start your listening to the ancestors. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. See you for having
How long have you been practicing ancestor worship?
I want to say my whole life, just because it is part of the culture that I come from. But I will say actively for probably about 30 years and more each decade. So I imagine I will, by the time I am an ancestor.
Y'all it down.
Yeah, I'll have it down so hard. Big important part of my life and my culture that I come from. Yeah.
Sure. And what were you telling me earlier about the kids in the corners?
Oh, well, when we, in my family, it's always, the ancestors are always with us. They watch over the generations that come, whether it be our close, our grandparents or further back. So in my culture, like when the kid is like giggling at the corner and playing, we'd all be like, oh, grandma's here in the room. Lay down a little offering for her, and acknowledge that she's in the room looking out for the next generation.
Oh, that's lovely. It's beautiful.
Yeah, okay. It's nice.
So you have a sort of an ancestor hearth altar here?
Yes. Me and my partner have a hearth altar in the middle of our home.
I just remember an altar doesn't have to be like on top of a mountain, in the dead of night and on rock that you found hewed from the earth. It could just be a shelf, and but it's important to help you put things out that are important to you. You are giving it its own weight. I feel that way. So talk to me about this
how you go about this with your offerings and whatnot.
Yeah. So this is the altar that I think I keep active the most. As you'll see, there's pictures and crystals and lots of good stuff on here. But I think the thing that's most important is to feed and nourish your ancestors. So we do that with this is just any liquid will work. So essentially, I keep this on my altar at all times.
What?
That's water.
Oh, water.
This is just water.
Got on.
Yeah, water. Hydrate the ancestor.
I use whiskey.
You can use whiskey. Sometimes it's champagne. You can add more and more things. If you're outside and you're thinking, you can add a libation just to the ground. I like to pour one outside on the tree when I'm thinking about my ancestors as well. So yeah, liquid is very important. My dear friend Aisha, when she read my tarot at one point, was like, your ancestors are chatty and hungry. And so, yes.
Oh no, you're a feeder. You like to eat.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition, I often will add offerings of food, which is also very culturally significant. You could do that with many deities. Most of the things that you do with deities, you can do with your ancestors as well, for the most part. And then rice. This is just rice, regular rice, to feed the ancestors, to nourish them. And you could also just take things from your table, things from your table, your pantry, your cupboard. We are feeding those who helped us to become. So it is us continuing that cycle and acknowledging them. Anything can be an offering. It does not have to be what I'm doing.
It can also just be words and songs and
Words, songs, smells, anything. Ooh. Even a moment of thinking of a memory can be a beautiful offering to those who came before.
Right. That's great.
Yeah. So we're just going to do something really, really simple. This work is...
You don't really want me to play with them.
Yeah, these little beings, they move the energy.
Uncle David, throw the fox.
No, that's okay, yeah. If you hear little feet scampering, there are little beings about. But yeah, this work does not have to be challenging. In fact, if you put too much on it, you can impact your connection. And as David said before, it does not have to be your blood lineage, but it can be. It can be anything that you connect to. You can connect to your theater ancestors, your queer ancestors. You can, if you are a pipe fitter, you can connect to your pipe fitting ancestors. You can connect to anything, so long as you yourself are connected. So to begin, just wherever you are, root chakra, really pay attention to that. If you want to think of the color red, you can, but you don't have to. But really feel yourself root down. Take a deep, deep breath in through your nose. Feel yourself root down all the way through your chakras into the ground. Feel that chakra root deep into the earth. And we're going to take a few breaths together. On the first one, I want you to root down into the ground. And the second one, keep that connection with the earth, but also allow yourself to let your energy grow to the sides of you. And on the third one, we're going to allow our full chakras to be in alignment and our the full wideness of our energy. So we'll do breath one, breathe in. And let it out through the mouth. Feel yourself connect with the earth. Breathe in. Feel yourself widen, your energy take up space. Breathe in and connect those two. Energy being big and your energy taking up space. Find that part of yourself that is eternal, that feels eternal. It might be different places in the body. It might be in your root chakra. Or in that space. And listen to what it says. Maybe that place is in the back of my neck and the back of my head. Wherever it is in your body, connect to that. Feel the wholeness of your body connected to the earth, the wholeness of your energy projecting out, and that connection to the eternal. And then we're holding all three of those things together. This is the space we do our work. We use our senses, whatever sense is strongest for you. My strongest sense is visual. So for me, I imagine golden beings nearby. I can see the outline of their bodies. I can feel their presence. If your other senses are more strong, you can smell. What did it smell? The smell, that ancient smell, or the perfume of someone, or the smell of food, whatever that may be. Or you can feel the feeling of wind. Tune into your senses and either imagine or call through the senses those eternal ancestors. Oh. So this is the place where the work would come from. We thank our ancestors for being here. My ancestors are here, and I am so grateful for them being here in this room, to be here with all of you. Today, that was the work, to just listen and to call. So whatever work you have planned for the middle, feel free to do that. But when they arrive, you thank them. When they depart, you thank them. You can give an offering of some sort, or just your pure, unabashed gratitude, and that they have come where you called them, that they exist, that you exist because they have existed. And now take another deep breath in, breathe in that gratitude, and let it go. Say a verbal thank you to Ruma Bfeld. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, family. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you for being here in the space today. And you can come on back. And it's as easy as that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was so lovely and just so simple, but heavy. You know what I mean?
But we are weighted very deeply down to connect. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Being here with the fam.
That's just do that every once in a while, and they'll be like, "Hey, dummy." No.
But also listening, the more you connect and root down, the more you can hear
Yeah.
when people are trying to guide you, help guide you in those directions. It's never going to be a mean voice. Mine isn't. It's always going to be a, what's the plan here?
It's like,
Pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention.
You know, it's not going to be a destructive voice. How about that? Better said.
that was great.
Yeah, well, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you did with us, and we look forward to your comments on how it felt. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, hi, friends. I'm so glad you could join us.
Hi.
We're here in Shauna's lovely balcony, or orchard, whatever we're going. Hi. So, here, a little wrap out. That was a wonderful meditation. Thank you so much. That was so great.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel so grounded. I'm like, what? I had to work cameras and do things. So we talked about wisdom and what wisdom looks like and sounds like and feels like. And we heard the story of grandmother wisdom, and that's sort of a parable about not listening and having, negative repercussions, and then finding new ways to listen. And in that story, by the way, the whole thing about walking out to the desert for like days on end is I've actually done it. It was after 8 hours. I did not eat for 7 days, by the way. But I did walk a lot and met, the spirits. And someday I'll tell you the story when I was in Peru and met Grandmother Mountain. That was a life-changing thing. But yeah, so how do you feel about wisdom? How do you get wise? How do you hear the wisdom of the ages? Well, hopefully you can do some meditations and open yourself up to it. But I also think the most important thing about any of this ancestor work is gratitude.
You know, as we always talk about gratitude every day, every morning, of gratitude for your life, the gift of life that the goddess has given you, gratitude for your health and all the things you have, especially when the world is really hectic right now and you feel like, oh, I don't want to be grateful for any of this crap. Is when you really have to do the work and be grateful, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, just take your time, take your meditations, and just as Shauna said, just be open to the wisdom, to hearing it and to acknowledging it, and it'll happen in a hopefully very beautiful way, in which I'd love to hear about down in the comments. So I'm just gonna thank you for coming and playing with me, and thank you for this delicious wine and this beautiful afternoon we had to hang out doing witchcraft. We're so good at that, right? What's your job? Oh, I just kind of do witchcraft. Hey, so we're gonna go and we're gonna listen to more stories from the cauldron, or around the line, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye.